We have been lied to for years by the so-called science-based lifting community.
In this video, I'm going to explain how to build muscle in 5 levels of increasing complexity.
By the end of today's video, you will know exactly how I think you should be building muscle. Now, who am I to tell you how to build muscle? Well, my name's Peter, and I'm a qualified and still practicing musculoskeletal physiotherapist. In fact, I'm clinical lead physiotherapist at my clinic. So yes, I don't know everything about the body. Secret? No one does. But I do know, and sadly I do believe I know, quite a lot more than these idols on YouTube, because I stopped watching them years ago. Because at that point I thought, well, I can't learn anything more from them. Now, is everything I say set in stone? No, of course not. Things change all the time. But I promise to give you guys the best information that I can, that is available to me, and how I'm thinking at this time. You know what? If I mess something up, I'll come out and say it. So I've previously said Milo Wolf's channel was phenomenal. Dr. Mike's channel was phenomenal. Well, do I believe it now? Well, no, I don't. Because they all just feed off of each other's bullshit and create stupid exercises. And I've said this, it makes no sense. Any actin-myosin theory contraction, stretching it to extremes, doesn't make sense. And the research they were quoting did not stretch to extremes, but I won't go down that tangent. I think we need to build muscle by training difficult and training hard. What does that mean? Well, we don't need to do 300 sets. No, oh Pete, what about Arnold back in the day when he was like talking about doing the bench press, doing the flies, doing the cables? I love an Arnold impression. I'm shocking at it. I'm sorry for all of you listening through headphones. But seriously, like, he did so much volume. Why? Because he's on PEDs. And you know why the whole science-based community became a thing? Was to try and keep up with the bros using PEDs. Because you look in the mirror and you are giving everything. You're like, I'm not growing. I'm still not growing. Right, let's learn, how can I grow more muscle? Bang! Stretch partials. It doesn't work like that, but that's what we all did, right? You talking there, you've done it. I've done it. We've both done it. The sad thing is that the videos YouTube are showing you are that of great YouTubers. Now you have to keep that in mind. Even if someone's got a degree, so like a PhD for instance, has that person then put that degree into practice at the job? When I came out of uni, guess how much I knew? Pretty much nothing. When you was the first day on your job or the first day in a maths class, how much did you know? Well, nothing. And then when you studied it and then you went out into work, I bet the first day at work after university, you still knew nothing. And the same applies for a lot of these YouTubers. And most of them don't even have degrees to back it up, yet alone put years of clinical practice in when it comes to educating people on muscle and technique. One of the few, Jeff Cavalier, he's done it. He's walked the walk. Yes, he hasn't kept up with the most up-to-date research, but he's walked the walk and he's done it. Therefore, a lot of his stuff is actually brilliant. I know he's a bit out of fashion because everything's killing your gains, but that's just how it goes. Right. That's enough waffle. That's enough getting things off of my chest. And I appreciate you guys waiting. I've finally got a makeshift studio sort of going here in the new place. It's taken me forever, but I do apologize. Right, let's get into it. How are you going to build more muscle tomorrow when you step into the gym? The answer is we train hard. Now, we need to train hard enough to create a stimulus to the muscle that warrants it to change. So just by going in lifting weights, if you're an experienced lifter, nothing's going to happen. You need to push it so hard that the muscle thinks, if I don't grow, I'm not going to be able to cope with what you're throwing at me. Therefore, it has to grow or has to get stronger. My advice would be, do your warm-up set. So on any exercise, let's take the lat pull down. Let's do our warm-up set. So we start off really light. We do about 6 to 8 reps. And then we go down 1 or 2 pins at a time. And we do a few reps at each. Maximum 3. You don't want to expand energy. And then you get to a weight where you can do a comfortable RPE of 8. So I would say do your failure set. What you think is failure, do it that weight. Make sure it's less than 12 reps. Even stop just before, that's absolutely fine. Now that is a traditional set 1, working set. But I'm going to scrap that. I'm going to call that a warm-up set, working on PAP, and I've done a video on that with a bench press. I'll put that at the end. But it primes the movement patterns, correct? Then you only need to give me 2 sets. But these 2 sets, I want you to go heavier than what you've done your previous set at by a decent amount. And I want you to take both of these sets to failure. Now, set number 1, I want you to go as strict form as you can and get to failure, and then let the form go completely. Swing it, sway it, go to what you think is failure there too. So you've done strict form failure, you've let the shoulder blades go, and then you've done failure. Right, so now we've done 2 out of 3 sets. For the 3rd set, what I'd like you to do is do the exact first 2 steps. So go to strict form failure, go to loose form failure, and then what I want you to do is bang out 3 more rest pause sets, almost like a Myo match set, but we're not matching anything. We're doing a rest pause, and even if you just do partials, that's absolutely fine. So now we've done 2 working sets, a warm-up set, and then a final like prep set before our working sets. So the first 2 sets don't count. It's only the 2 working sets that you're going to count towards your volume. So there we've created a stimulus where you have pushed your body to the absolute max. Now, is it safe to do this on every lift? Would I do this on a bench press? Well, no, I wouldn't. So, right, but what should I do if I go in bench press? So what I'm working on now, I'm working on pause reps, strict form, 3 rep max. And I'm doing 3 sets. So obviously I do my warm up, all of that, and I'm doing 3 sets to the point where I feel safe doing the last rep without a spotter, because I gym at 5:30 in the morning some mornings and no one wants to come and spot me at that time. I'm usually alone in the gym, right? So I do that. Then what I do is I go onto the chest press machine, the hammer strength machine. I absolutely love it. And no, it's not an incline, even though you're pushing slightly up because you're leaning slightly back. So it's pretty much a flat bench. From that point, there I take 2 sets to failure. So again, I do a movement primer, which is part of my rest going from the bench to the machine. And then I do 2 sets to failure the exact same way, right? So I push the first set to strict form, shoulders back, and then I just let everything go for the final bit of the set. And then I stop. And then the last set, I take that bit further where I pause. And then I try bang out a few more reps, and I do that 3 times. So I've been doing this for the past, let's say 2.5, 3 months. And oh my goodness, I'm loving the sessions. I'm not burning out. So I'm quite busy at work. I've got next week off, which is fantastic, but we've been absolutely rammed. I've got students, so stress levels are through the roof, which is not ideal for building muscle. Sleep's been a bit better. I've also got the stress of moving house and all of that sort of thing, but I'm still loving my gym sessions, and it's not frying my central nervous system. I'm doing it on the bloody hack squat for legs, so it's rough, it's hard, but because you're only giving 2 sets, that's absolutely fine. And let's say you later on, so now you've done your bench, what's next? Right, so now I want to do some upper chest work. So I want to do dumbbell press, right? Again, primer set, RPE 8, chill set, or your traditional failure, because that's probably an RPE 8, because no one really goes to true failure. You can always squeeze out some form of a rep afterwards. But right, then I take my 2 working sets, 6 to 8 reps, and I go for it. Slow, control the eccentrics first, and then I just start banging it out, and I do the exact same thing. The reason I'm doing it with dumbbells is because when I fail, I just put it down and do a mini setup, quick core exercise as well. So that is working unbelievably well. I'm doing it for biceps, I'm doing it for triceps, I'm doing it for legs. Like quad extension is one of my favorite ways of doing this, and when you get off after that last set, oh my goodness, even my chicken legs look like they're pumped, which is saying a lot. Now, would you be able to sustain this? Well, I think so. Now, you can reduce your overall volume. So you can just do bench press or machine press, dumbbell press, and then some flies. But let me talk you through my push day. So my volume is quite high, but I'm giving 2 sets of everything. So bench press, 3 sets, 2 sets where I'm going 3 rep pause. Then I'm hopping onto the flat bench machine and I'm doing 2 sets there. So technically that's 5 sets. Yeah, with the first set, I'll maybe say 4. Let's go 4 sets because the first warm-up set or the last warm-up set, first set is blurred lines. So let's go 4 sets on the bench. Then we go in incline, 2 sets. Then I'm doing cable flies down, like the squeeze, like the bro flies, because I've never thought so. I haven't done them for years. And I thought, what are bros doing? Bros are doing this exercise. Why? And I did it and the chest felt insane. So science lifting is turning into bro lifting. So we might as well just go for it, right? So That felt insane. 2 sets there, and then 2 sets of upper chest focus flies. Now, I really like bringing my arms forward for the upper chest focus flies, because if we think about the pec fibers, the upper chest is helping so much when it comes to shoulder flexion. So chest pushes, mid fibers push adduction. Flexion is done by the deltoid and the upper chest. So if we're doing our flies with our arms slightly forward, you'll get a massive bit of tension on the upper chest. It's not so much the bench angle, it's the angle of your arm that determines. So grip width on a bench or dumbbell, or with flies coming a bit narrower and going for it. But anyway, 2 sets there, right? So that's 2 sets bench, 2 sets bench machine, 4 sets, 2 sets dumbbell bench. So that's 6 sets, 2 sets flies, 2 sets flies, 1 cable, 1 dumbbell. That's a lot of sets. That's 10 sets. But because the exercises are getting easier as we go, I'm managing. And then straight after that, I'm doing lateral raises. Exactly the same thing. And then in my last set, I'm using my whole body to cheat the rep. So it's working unbelievably well. So then we've got 2 sets there on shoulders. Then I go do cable lateral raises. Why? Because I want to build the lateral delts. So that's 2 sets there. But now for those, I don't go do a whole warm up. For those, I just go into it. And then I'm doing Smith machine shoulder press. So that's another 2 sets. Now that one, because it's a different movement, I do a mini warm up set. Fair enough, but it doesn't count towards total volume. So 10 for chest, 6 for shoulders. And then I do skull crushers, either decline. I saw C-Bum put that in, which is brilliant. And C-Bum also did something which I've mentioned in a video ages ago with the hamstring curl, where he places his hands on the pad by where the hips are. It takes the lower back out and forces your hamstrings to work. And I actually prefer the lying hamstring curl because of that reason to the seated hamstring curl. Because the seated hamstring curl, I don't feel strong enough and I don't feel that mind-muscle connection. So it's interesting that C-Bum's doing, and I haven't seen him do this before, the thing that I recommended in a video ages ago and why it actually works. And the person who recommended it to me, I just saw it doing it, was my missus, and she had no idea why it felt better. But it's because you anchor your hands below your hips, not above, so it takes the lower back out completely, which is awesome. But anyway, off on a tangent again. All right, so I'm doing 4 sets of triceps, so 2 sets skull crushers, either flat, decline. I don't really do incline, there's no point. And then I do some either cable rope press downs or cable easy bar press downs. So that's 4 sets for tries. That's a lot of volume, and that's taking me about an hour to an hour and 10, and I'm burning roughly 360 to 410 calories. So not insane, but wow, the pumps are good, energy levels are good, the muscle soreness the next day is there, which is awesome. The only one I can't push as hard is my leg day. So let's run through leg day. So warm-up sets done, 2 working sets the exact same way to failure on the hack squat. Then I'm doing single leg press because of my knocky knee, so 2 sets there, so that's 4 sets. Then I'm doing seated quad extensions, 3 sets there because I want to try to boost my quads. So I'm doing 3 sets there, all of them to failure, plus some partials and then rest pausing. So that's giving a total of 7 sets. And then I'm doing either seated hamstrings or RDLs, which is 2 sets there. So that's 9 sets. And then I'm doing 2 sets on calves. So that's going to be 11 sets on leg day. So lower volume, but because legs are just take it out of you. It's tough when you're training biceps, you're training 2 heads at a time. Triceps 3, quads, there's 4 of them and they're big. Glutes, hamstrings, there's a lot of muscle there. So yeah, I don't have that high volume on my leg day, and I probably suggest you do the same. And you can tell I'm using quite a lot of machines because that again doesn't fry the central nervous system as hard. And yeah, that's basically what I'm training and how I'm training, and I'm absolutely loving it. And I personally feel that if you are pushing yourself that hard in the gym, your muscles will have no choice but to react to the stimulus you throw at them, as long as the weights are going up as well. Not every week. I've been lifting for 11 years. Jeez, I wish I could lift more every week. I'd be a world record holder by now. But I'm trying to either increase the number of reps slightly, maybe do a couple more strict form reps, or put some extra weight on. Like on the bench press, I had 105, and then I put the little 1.25 kilos on each side. And I've never done that. Normally I put 2.5s on, but I was like, you know what, let's just go by the baby weight. And actually it was quite good. It was motivating. So even a small increase is actually massive, because we again then changing the stimulus. Now your body has to adapt to lifting an extra 2.5 kilos, 1.25 on each side. So how does it do that? Well, it tries to recruit more muscle, or therefore try and grow more muscle. So that's my theory. It's not backed by a research paper, funny enough. It's just my understanding of the human body. Everything that we are made of adapts. We're seeing it with bone density, for goodness sake. People with osteoporosis, I am giving deadlifts to 83-year-old women. And I've got someone now who's had a private DEXA scan, and I've given deadlifts to her for lumbar spine osteoporosis. Her T-scores, which if you know anything about bone density, her T-score is below -2.5. So it's osteoporosis. And she's going to have another scan in a year's time after committing to the gym twice a week. So, I mean, what more can I say? We got bones adapting. Research is showing bones are adapting. People who are osteoporotic and lifting weights, right, their bones are becoming stronger. Soft tissues adapt. Lumbar spine discs adapt to what you throw at it. Muscle will adapt. Everything we're made of will adapt to the stimulus you throw at it. So my answer is throw some more shit at it and make your body adapt. And if you do that, you won't go far wrong. All right, guys, I really appreciate your time. Thank you for being patient. I know it's been a while since I put out a video, so I hope this one hits the mark. I really appreciate your time, as always. And if you found this video useful, please consider smashing that thumbs up button down below. It really means a lot to me and our channel. So until then, guys, we'll catch you in the next one.